The momentum of change is building, both in our individual lives and in the world. This change is becoming more obvious than ever before. If you've been feeling more anxious, scattered, or emotionally charged than usual, know that it's your body and mind's way of adjusting to the changes taking place. The changes happening now are no longer as subtle as before because of the acceleration of consciousness. When consciousness expands quickly, anything that is no longer serving our highest good comes to the surface to be seen, addressed, and resolved. What was is no more, including you. Perhaps you have not noticed a shift in your being or actions, but others have. You are no longer so willing to accept the dictates of others, and you do not care that your new ideas and actions might make others uncomfortable. This new thought process is surprising you as well as others. Most often, when you voice your displeasure, others are willing to change their actions or words. If they are not, you are no longer that interested in interacting with them. Those who disagree with your new actions and words were likely not that important to you. Perhaps they were a co-worker or neighbor, or maybe they were emotionally closer to you than that, but are no longer. If you're experiencing a great deal of inner hardship now, know that it's just the mind trying to hold on to the old paradigm because it's so used to it and found comfort there in the past. The only thing asked of us when we find ourselves experiencing hardship is to be kind to ourselves as we move through it. Being kind to ourselves requires us to be willing to let go of needing to be in control and to always be right. When we try to control everything around us, it gets exhausting. We easily become triggered by many things that are not going our way. This is us giving our power away. As we step back and release control, we create room for more clarity and understanding. This approach helps us tap into more compassion and love for ourselves and others, which helps us to be more relaxed and at ease with the changes happening within and around us. It is as if you have placed a screen in front of your being that can only be entered by those few willing to pass through that screen before interacting with you. You are no longer that easily motivated or willing to do almost anything to retain a friendship or interaction. You have placed personal barriers around yourself, letting others know that you value your time alone and are not willing to accommodate those who demand your consent to their thoughts and actions before they do the same for you or never acquiesce to you. You now know what you need deep within you and are willing to inform others if they do not encourage you to be you. Perhaps this week's information makes you nervous because you are not accustomed to expressing your wants or needs to others. Or maybe you are finding your voice without a concern. It does not matter, for you are a new being with new needs and wants. And those not willing to accept who you are becoming will not be in your orbit for long. This is your Independence Week, for you have accepted enough of the new you to demonstrate and vocalize who you are. It does not matter how close you once were with those you now interact with. What is essential is that they lovingly accept the new you. If they do not, you will not be that interested in interacting with them. Or perhaps you will interact with them, but on a much less intimate level, as they fall from best friend, mate, or favorite coworker to just another being with whom you interact. September will serve as a powerful time to complete soul agreements that are no longer serving us, so that they no longer hold us back in any way. Soul agreements are the energetic understandings and contracts we made before and during our time here. They shape the experiences, lessons, and relationships we have in any one earth life. Some were made before we entered this life, while others were formed along the way. These agreements can support our growth, our healing, and even our ability to navigate challenges that would awaken our strength and wisdom. Yet just like any season that naturally comes to a close, many of these agreements now carry an expiration date. What once helped us evolve has, for many, become heavy or limiting. And as a collective, we are reaching the threshold of outgrowing these contracts, allowing them to dissolve so that something new and far more expansive can emerge. One of these expired collective agreements is the belief that we are just insignificant human beings who exist in a paradigm of difficulty because that's just how it is. This ongoing mental program has been the foundation for many of the injustices, imbalances, and hierarchical systems in the world. It's time we completed these agreements so we can begin new ones that align with the most luminous and expanded version of ourselves. Some of you will be frightened as you read this message, for you have images of being isolated because your need for independence is so unlike your 3D need to be part of a group, even if that group did not necessarily meet your needs. Independence is in. Acquiescing for the sake of any kind of interaction is out of the question for who you have become. For those of you who feel the need to test that concept but are afraid to do so, you will discover that those beings who have become foreign to you will also find it challenging to connect with you. Your frequencies no longer synchronize. As a result, some people will no longer feel the need to interact with you any more than you wish to interact with them. At the same time, others whom you have avoided or perhaps have not yet met will become part of your new circle. Or you will discover you do not wish to have anyone in your circle. This is not only independence of thought, but also of action. What once was is no longer. What will be is formulating within your being at this very moment. Allow yourself to grow as you have in every previous 3D life, knowing that your current growth is happening in different directions with vastly different outcomes. We are the universe itself actualized into physical form with the ability to hold this awareness of ourselves. Over the next several months, choosing to play small will begin to feel increasingly uncomfortable. This is our spirit saying, I can no longer be confined by limiting beliefs. I am holy, powerful in the universe itself in physical form. Before entering this third-dimensional reality, many of us signed soul agreements to help usher in the great shift that began decades ago. Through these agreements, we took on specific roles and responsibilities to ensure that humanity and Earth could rise into a higher state of consciousness. These agreements were not for the faint of heart, yet out of unconditional love for Earth and her people, we volunteered, and we have fulfilled them with extraordinary courage. Now those soul agreements have reached their natural completion. They are dissolving in this new consciousness we have collectively manifested. And with their ending, a new freedom is emerging. The freedom to choose agreements that align only with our authenticity, joy, and wholeness. Difficult conditions and limitations need not be the norm for us personally or collectively anymore. We are free to choose differently. Of course, we are always allowed to cling to the old. Yet the invitation of this moment is to recognize that we have outgrown what was and to move boldly into what is now possible.